playing FIFA for 12 hours, we put this team together without spending a single dollar. Today we're going to be putting another 6 days of free progression onto this account, and then finding out if it's possible to beat FIFA in just 7 days. Now to beat FIFA, we have to make it from Division 10 all the way into Division 1. But after recording the 12-hour challenge on day 1, I was burnt out and played no more FIFA for the rest of the day, which means that day 1 ended with our team looking exactly the way it looked at the end of that video. So I haven't played a single game yet with this team, and today I want to try and see how far I can push this team in division rivals. So this is exactly what we did, and things were going incredibly well. We went into game after game, scoring goal after goal. Neymar? Haha, it's too easy for me. And winning these games. And I was having so much fun. No ways to score this. What a finish! And winning game after game, and also moving up in division rivals. Yes, we hit another checkpoint, and we're also on a win streak. And things continued to go like this, until eventually, we had just made it to Division 4, but this is when things change. In my first game of Division 4, I noticed an instant step up in the quality of opponent that we were facing. And all of a sudden, I couldn't score any goals, and I was conceding so many as well. And this bothered me because I wanted to win these games and make it all the way to Division 1. At this point, I knew that we needed to get some upgrades for our team, but more importantly, we needed Mbappe, because I believed that he was the key to get us all the way up to Division 1. Now if you perform well in the qualifiers as well as the Champions Finals, you get rewarded with tradable packs and you can make loads of coins from that. And for that reason, my plan was to make as many short-term upgrades as possible so that we could prepare our team for these events and get the coins that we need to get Mbappe. So after completing my daily login SPC, I realized that I couldn't open the pack because I had a duplicate I needed to get rid of. But this wasn't just any duplicate, it was a 94 rated card. So I used this card to complete this Team of the Season League 1 pack. And this could be massive because we could get Mbappe from this. Come on, guaranteed League 1 pack. Please give me Mbappe or any other good attacker. French? CDM? Ah. And when you consider the fact that this guy is already in our team and he's one of the players who I'm trying to get rid of, you can understand why I was annoyed. However, at this point, I looked towards the objectives and I saw a French attacker which intrigued me. And then I checked this card out and I was hooked. Because this guy had 5-star skills on his card, and this is a characteristic that differentiates good cards from the best ones. So I instantly spent more than half of the coins we had on Immobile, and this took us further away from being able to afford Mbappe, but it made completing this card that much easier. And yes, I completed the card in squad battles, but we now had ourselves a new attacker. And have you ever heard of the domino effect? Well, this is exactly what that caused. Because after adding this new attacker into our team, we now had a 91 rated card to use as fodder. And we're looking at the SPCs, I saw that Awar had a card, and this is perfect because not only does he link, but in our team we have 2 defensive top midfielders, of which Sissoko is way better than the other guy. But we were lacking a midfielder that could carry the ball up the pitch for us, and Awar is exactly that. So I completed this card, and now we had a midfield that I believed could get us into Division 1. But that wasn't it. After this, I realized that I had a 91 rated Team of the Season centre back in my club, and this guy's arguably better than Kimpembe, who's in our starting 11. And on top of this, Kimpembe is tradable while this guy isn't, which means we can get some coins from selling Kimpembe. So I improved our defense by adding the centre back into it, and then I listed Kimpembe, and by tomorrow, we should be a lot closer to being able to afford Mbappe. And a lot closer to Mbappe we were, because when I logged into Foot on this day, Kimpembe had sold and we now had over 100,000 coins. Now my plan for today was to complete the qualifiers, because not only would this get us entrance into the Champions Finals, but the rewards from this are tradable, which means we can make even more coins and get even closer to being able to purchase Mbappe. So I entered into the qualifiers, and already the first game was tough, because after going down by 2 goals in this game, we ended up bringing the game back and making it 2-2. After this, our next chance would come in the 90th minute when this happened. Openda? Nice! And this game taught me a lot about my team. Because even though we won that game, it was way more tight than it should have been. And this made me realize that our midfield was good, and so was the defense. However, we could do with a better goalkeeper and 2 new attackers. Because the objective card that we grounded was okay, but not as good as we needed him to be. And then Papin just wasn't mobile enough to do the things that we needed him to do. But we all know who's going to replace him. And after this, the next 4 games in the qualifiers would go extremely smoothly. We won game after game effortlessly, and we were racking up points, and after these 5 games we were 5-0, and this meant that we'd now qualified for the Champions Finals. Now as you guys know, the more wins we get, the better packs we get back. So my intention was to win as many of these games as I could to get the best possible rewards. And this is exactly what I did, and we continued to win game after game. However, I would end up losing 1 game to arguably the worst player I had faced, but this meant that we still got 9 wins and only 1 loss, and we now had some really good packs to open and hopefully get some coins from. So I started opening these packs, and unfortunately literally every single pack I opened was just complete garbage. Now I was quick signing all of the contents of all of the packs that we got, and this allowed us to rack up our coins a little bit, but I still had some time left for the day, and I wanted to start working on getting some fodder, because another one of my goals was to complete this 90 plus prime icon player pick before the final day when we do our final push in division rivals. I then started to look for fodder, and I saw that at level 15 we have an opportunity of getting a lot of fodder, but I needed a lot of XP before I got there. So I had to look at the objectives and started adding up all of the XP that I could possibly see myself getting, and lo and behold, it was enough. So we went ahead and completed the SPCs that he wanted us to complete, and then I played and also won a single game in the draft, and this should be enough XP to get us up to level 15. Oh wait, apparently we're missing some XP. And after having a look, I saw that we forgot to ground the stars in the moment's objective, but don't worry, I went ahead and grounded FIFA's most fun, most exciting game mode. Man, I don't know what I'd do if this mode wasn't in the game. And we now had enough XP to get this 83 plus times 15 pack. Now before opening this pack, I had a couple of packs that I'd gotten from completing some objectives, and in one of these packs we actually packed an 86 rated Laporte, but it was now time for us to open the 83 plus times 15. 83 plus times 15 now, and we're gonna get a team of the season. It's a Brazilian right wing. Oh, and that's a decent team of the season from the Serie A, but I believe our right winger is a little bit better, but we can use this guy as fodder. And behind this card was a load of fodder as well. And as explained, I started to complete the 90 plus prime icon player pick. Now unfortunately we could only complete one squad, but fortunately it was the 89 rated squad, which was the most expensive one. But this means that the only thing that we can possibly do left to actually get the resources to get both Mbappe and this prime icon player pick is participate in the Champions Finals. So over the next 2 days, that's exactly what we're going to do. Oh, and what a nice way to start off day 5. We're gonna get a 90 rated card that we can use as fodder from completing our daily login objective. But we're gonna need a lot more fodder than that, and we still need around 100,000 coins to be able to afford Mbappe, so it's now time for us to participate in the Champions Finals. And the Champions Finals started in the worst way possible. Come on, we have to get it out. Ah, that is not good. However, we responded well. Openda finds Loriente. That's a good finish. And we were even capable of taking the lead. Neymar finds Papin, and that's another solid finish. We're now in the lead. But shortly after, I'm giving away 3 goals. And it was time for me to focus up. Papin, yes, another solid finish. And this assist was clean. Loriente gets past Nuno Mendes. Papin finds Loriente once again. Can we beat our man? We do. Into Neymar, and it's another goal. And just like that, we'd achieved our first win in the Champions Finals. And we'd continue to carry this momentum through our next 3 games. And we'd even go down early in some of these games, but end up getting the win as a result of making extremely good comebacks. And after 4 games, we had won all 4, and we were now 4-0. However, the next game would leave its mark on me, because after going down by 1 goal early on, our opponent would proceed to try and hold the ball as long as he could, and because I wasn't capable of getting the ball back and creating enough chances to actually score a goal in this game, we ended up losing 1-0, and losing a game in this manner deflated me. Because after our first 5 games, we were now 4-1. However, my attitude going into the next 5 games completely changed. And as a result of this, we still ended up winning some games, but we also lost some games, and some games that we maybe shouldn't have lost at all. This meant that at the end of our first 10 games in the Champions Finals, we were now only 7-3. And I decided that I finished the last half of the Champions Finals on day 6, and I took a break from FIFA for the rest of this day. And this day started in the worst way possible, because the first game that I went into would be an extremely tough opponent to beat, and we'd end up getting demolished and having to forfeit. However, after this, I went into a game and did the same thing to another opponent. And at this point, that first game that I played didn't really have an effect on me. However, the next game would. Because after going down in this game, I had to work extremely hard to get ourselves back in. And I eventually made the comeback and got the game to a point where it was now tied 3-3. However, after working extremely hard to get into this position, my opponent scored a goal and then decided to hold the ball until the end of the game. And after losing in this fashion, after putting so much effort into this game, I was just reminded about what happened the day before. And this caused me to go into game after game, pretty much just playing them to get them over with. And as a result of this, we ended up losing some games, but we did also win a few. And we were now in a position where if we lost one more game, we could no longer achieve 14 wins. And this is exactly what would happen in the next game. After not conceding that many goals, I decided to just leave the game out of frustration. And I did this without even putting in the effort and actually trying to win this game in the first place. After this, we had 3 games in which I just needed to win 1. And even while playing in this headspace, this is something that I could still do. But this meant that we now missed out on 14 win rewards, and we now have to settle for 11 wins, which means it's still possible to get Mbappe, it's just going to be a lot tougher. Okay, so let's start with the player picks. And the first player pick is going to be a duplicate. But since these are player picks, we can actually open them without sorting this out just yet. And in the second player pick, we're gonna get Trent. And this is fine, we need fodder because we're trying to complete the icon player pick. First, CDR team of the season pick. No way, we actually get Di Maria. And this was incredible because he's an insane attacker with 5-star skills. And if we don't manage to get enough for Mbappe, he could probably do the job. Next player pick. Szczesny seems like the best option, and I do want to upgrade our goalkeeper. These guys also link to each other, so we could maybe do something with this. And my plan was to make this work, but never in a million years could I predict exactly how it would end up working out. So before we go ahead and open our packs, let's just complete one of the prime icon player pick squads, and doing that now allows us to send Toni Kroos into our club, and we can now open these packs. I then opened the first pack, but there wasn't much in it. Okay, second pack now. We got a tradable team of the season, Brazilian centre back. No way, that's an insane centre back card. And after packing this card, I saw that we could actually sell it for 75,000 coins. And if I did this, we could afford Mbappe. However, at this point, I desperately wanted to keep this card because he'd be a massive upgrade in our defense. Okay, next pack, let's try and make some coins because I really want to keep the centre back. Oh, I'm just gonna have to quick sell this entire pack. And now finally for the ultimate pack. Come on, we have to make some coins from this pack. No, it's just gonna be an 85 rated Marco Reus. I then sold all of the cards that were in this pack with the goal of trying to be able to afford Mbappe without having to sell our new centre back. And we got really close, but we couldn't quite get it just yet. However, at this point I was stubborn and I decided to complete a marquee matchup squad so we could get a tradable pack and hopefully pack a player that sells for enough coins. And there's no way we're gonna pack a valuable player from a pack that guarantees you only one rare. Gold players pack, please give me something valuable.
Hello there.
It's a walkout and it's a special card. And it's going to be Eric Lamela. After packing this card, I instantly listed him and then waited for him to sell. And eventually he did sell. And we now had 233,000 coins. And you guys all know what that means. Kylian Mbappe is now part of our team. And who would have thought that only 5 days ago, we'd get enough coins to be able to actually purchase Mbappe. And on top of this, with the new centre back that we packed and that we are now capable of keeping, if we just get a Polish manager, our entire team will be on full chemistry. I then completed another marquee matchup squad because I needed to get coins to actually purchase a manager because a Polish CDR manager ended up costing us almost 5,000 coins. But this didn't matter because coins no longer served a purpose for this challenge because now that our team is prepared, it's time for us to push further in division rivals. And yes, don't worry, I didn't forget, the 90 plus prime icon player pick is now complete, and if we pull something insane from this, this will be the final upgrade that we make for our team. 90 plus prime icon player pick. Come on, please give me someone like R9, Vieira, Maldini. We do get a high rated Italian centre back, but it's not Maldini. I ended up taking Baresi anyway, and I don't believe that he's better than any of the centre backs which we currently have. But we've just spent the past 6 days preparing this team for one specific thing, and that is to go out tomorrow and push all the way from Division 4 into Division 1. And our first game with our new team in Division 4 went extremely well. Di Maria was way better than I expected him to be, and him and Mbappe were working extremely well together. On top of this, having a solid defense meant that we didn't concede any goals, and with a midfield as solid as the one we had, we could dominate games. And this is exactly what was occurring, because we were just going to game after game, scoring goal after goal against our opponent, building up a win streak and reaching checkpoints. But at this point, if we were to win our very next game, we'd make it into Division 3 because we were on a win streak. And these were the best coins that I've ever spent. Neymar? Yes. In terms of value, I mean. If Mbappe steps up and gets us into Division 1, that could change. Ball falls to Mbappe, and he's never going to miss from there. And at this point, Division 3 looked all but guaranteed. Neymar finds Mbappe. Di Maria? Oh, and this team is flowing so well. And that would be the case throughout the rest of the 90 minutes of this game, and Mbappe would even pick up a hat-trick. But winning this game meant we have just made it to Division 3, and on top of that, we still have our win streak. And the opponents in Division 3 were a lot tougher, and this meant that we had to step up. But this was fine because we now had Mbappe, and he's the key to get us into Division 1. And these were the best coins that I've ever spent. Mbappe, another goal, and no other player can do this. This would cause our opponent to forfeit, which means we got ourselves our first win in Division 3, and we also maintained our win streak. And if we were to win this next game, we would reach a checkpoint. And as we climb high up in the divisions, these are going to be extremely important. Oh no? Oh, his Rivaldo scored against us. Oh what? Finds Mbappe. Beats one. Can we score? Yes! Mbappe puts us back in the game. And shortly after this, Mbappe Yes, that's another one. And another one that caused our opponent to forfeit. And this means that we had now reached that checkpoint. But with the form we were on and the way we were playing, we would reach a lot more checkpoints. Because we would maintain our win streak by winning the next 3 games in a row. And this meant that if we won our next game, we were in Division 2. Okay, this one's for Division 2, but he has a rare Nkunku. Now he also had a bad goalkeeper and a bad midfielder, but he's probably gonna sub them off. Oh, we have a really good chance early on. Di Maria? No, we've got to be making more of those. Oh no, he has it with Nkunku. Good block. We need to make sure we keep him out. Sissoko now. Into Mbappe. We find Opinda, who finishes extremely well. And our opponents pause the game, but it doesn't look like he's gonna forfeit. But after a long wait, he did actually end up forfeiting. And you guys know what this means. So our opponent did actually forfeit, and this means we're now in Division 2, and we just have one more division to go. But once again in Division 2, there was a massive step up in the quality of the opponents, and it now took a lot more out of us to actually get goals. Mbappe? A good finish, but we had to do a lot to get that goal. And after we scored this goal, we'd have chances, but we wouldn't be able to score a goal for the rest of this game. However, in the 91st minute, Sissoko, we lose the ball. Oh, did we get a penalty? Yes, it looks like the ref's given us a penalty, and if we score this goal, we're guaranteed to win this game. Neymar does score, and that means we won this game. And if we were to win the next game, we'd reach a checkpoint. And based on how difficult that previous game was, these checkpoints have so much value. And in the next game, I learned a massive lesson. Because I found an opponent who was actually good at the game, but they were just rushing everything. And this reminded me of the Champions Finals when I was doing the exact same thing, and it caused me to lose games. And as a result of our opponent doing this, I was capable of capitalizing on their mistakes, and we ended up winning this game and making it to a checkpoint. And with the momentum on my side at this point, and Mbappe, we were just dominating games and getting wins. And in no time, yes, we've just made it to the final checkpoint before Division 1. And this is our first game after this win. Neymar? What a finish! How is a gold Neymar doing this? However, straight after scoring this goal, no, he has Kane through, and Kane scores. Yeah, and the game was now tied up. However, I knew that I just needed to remain composed, so that's exactly what I did. Sissoko finds Di Maria, lovely finish as well. And then straight after kicking off for the second half, Mbappe, we beat his entire defense, and Mbappe is not going to miss from there. And after this, our opponent forfeited, and we just needed to win 2 games in a row. However, early on in the next game, oh no, his Cruyff has the ball. There's no way you finished it from there. Mbappe, we get a little bit lucky, but the game is now tied up. However, after this, my opponent will proceed to score again, and again, and again. And at this point, the game was way too far out of my grasp, and I just ended up forfeiting. And losing this game sucked, because it now meant that we had to win even more games, and after having played so much FIFA for this day already, I was starting to feel burnt out, and I didn't know how much I had left in the tank. What made things even worse is that I'd win the very next game, however the game after that would be a game that I knew I should have won. But silly things just kept on happening over and over, and this caused me to just concede goal after goal, and I ended up losing a game that I should have never ever lost. But it was important for me to understand that this happens to everybody, and the best thing you can do is just remain calm and keep on playing your game. Now, I wouldn't be human if I was capable of just solving my problems that easily. And in the next game, I'd once again lose to another opponent that I should have won. But what made things even worse is that we were now back at the checkpoint, and we no longer had a win streak, and this means that we now have to win 4 games in a row if we want to get into Division 1. And because of the fact that time was running out, and we had to win 4 games in a row to get to Division 1, I knew that this next run would be my final run, and if I lost the game, it would mean that we failed this challenge. So I decided to give it my all. Di Maria, lovely skill, and a lovely finish as well. Mbappe, this is why we signed you? Yes, he scores. Di Maria once again. This guy is on fire. And after this, we'd even go ahead and score a 4th goal, but the game would end 4-3. So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. But remember, if we lose 1 game, we fail this challenge. But Mbappe was there to make sure that we don't fail. And shortly after that, Mbappe again. Yes, what a goal! And that's why it was important that we signed Mbappe. And after this, Mbappe would proceed to score a 3rd goal and make it a hat-trick late on into this game. And this is exactly what we signed him for, but his job was not yet done. We still have to win 2 more games in a row. And the next opponent that we'd find would have an insane team. And this would possibly pose the biggest challenge of this video. And it seemed like he was doing exactly this, because this guy was incredibly skilled at the game, and we couldn't break down his defense. And if the odds weren't stacked against us enough already, no, Lewandowski, it fell to his DRB and he scored a goal. But knowing that if I lost this, we failed this challenge, I had to turn up. Neymar, yes, we're back into this game. However, my opponent's Testegen would make some incredible saves, and we'd get punished for not putting these chances away. Oh no? No, my opponent scored with his hullet. But our most loyal player would put the team on his back. Awad finds Neymar. Yes, good finish from Neymar. And this guy's been with us throughout this entire challenge. And in the 73rd minute, the final opportunity of this game would be provided, and it would be provided to us in the form of a penalty. Neymar for the hat-trick in this game, and he scores! We need to maintain this lead, and maintaining this lead is exactly what we did for the rest of the 90 minutes. And in the biggest game of this challenge so far, it was one of our most loyal players who stepped up. This now meant that we were one game off of Division 1, and if we won this game, we'd complete our challenge. However, if we lost this game, we'd fail. And there was cause for concern early on. Oh no? Chesney with a good save. We have to get it out. Yes, we get the ball out. And we needed our players to step up. Mbappe? Oh, how did his defender block that? But it seemed like the leak at the back was not yet filled. And this caused us to concede a goal in one of the worst ways possible. And it was up to me to not let my emotions get the better of me. So, I didn't. Mendes finds Di Maria. Yes! Di Maria puts us back in the game. And after this, my opponent and I would continue to attack each other. And at this point, it was anybody's game. But a simple spot kick would open up the door for an opportunity. Mbappe, Sissoko finds Di Maria, who scores! We have the lead late on into this game. And it wouldn't make sense if it was anybody but this guy. Mbappe scores! And he might have just been the key to getting us into Division 1. Yeah, that was poetry. And late on into this game, our opponent would go ahead and score a goal. However, it would be too late for them to do anything else. This meant that we won this game and beat FIFA by taking our team from Division 10 all the way up to Division 1, and our challenge is now complete. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy one of these ones, so go ahead and click on any of those videos to watch it.